This week, you're going to be working on transferring data from controllers using view bags, view data, and temp data. So this would be transferring data that's not associated with a model. And you're also going to learn about view models. Those are the two primary topics in Chapter 8. And there are exercises associated with each one. And for the view bag section, there is a video that explains it. And then there's also a video that explains the hands-on and walks through it. There is a starter file that you are going to need to download, but this is basically designed to teach you how to use the different techniques for sending non-model data. We do look at the action result class, specifically different subtypes besides view result and content result, which are the two that we've used. So you're going to learn how to redirect to another action method and to a URL that is outside of our MVC app. And that is what you do in Hands-On 2. Then we get into view models. The one in the book is pretty complicated, so I'm going to have you guys do a simple one because I think when you're learning, simple is better. So this explains what view models are, and then you're actually going to create one. And that is pretty much all of the hands-on. There is one that you will be doing on your own. It is from the Chapter 8 Exercise 1 Guitar Shop. This is the file that you're going to have to download. And I don't think this is going to take you all that long. I did not feel that it was that difficult, but if you have problems with it, please let me know. And so that is the first part of what we're going to be working on. So that's Chapter 8. There's a Dropbox for that assignment. Chapter 11, the only thing that we are going to cover is data annotations. So take note, you do not need to read through the whole chapter. We're only doing about 10 pages. And it's basically data annotation and validation. So we kind of review what we know and expand on what we know. So you're going to learn more about action selectors and what those are. These are basically annotations that go in the controller and how the bind annotation works. So we do kind of cover model binding or review model binding. And then we get into that bind attribute and how to use that. After we cover how it's used in the controller, then we get into more annotations that are just added to models. And there are ones that adjust your schema, which is your actual database and tables. And then there's others that are to ensure your data is valid. So I kind of go through the ones you're most likely to use. The list is longer than what's in the book. And then you are going to have some hands-on practicing incorporating these into our Razor Pages Zen Spa. So you're going to be adding annotations to a couple new classes that you're going to create. And then you're going to learn more about the validation annotations. And basically this involves using regular expressions. And there are annotations that'll check file extensions and compare properties for like email and passwords, that kind of thing. So you'll learn about those. A little refresher on updating the database. And if you need it, a review on how validation is handled in a controller and how you can use your tag helpers. Then we do get into adding the regular expressions, and we update the database, and then we generate controllers and views using scaffolding. And once you've completed all that, you're going to be adding to the navigation bar and running the app. So at that point, you're going to be done with this. Then on your own, you are going to be adding data annotation to your term project. So you need at least 2 regular expressions on 2 different properties. I do want you to add the key and foreign key data annotations in all of your classes, even if you are following convention, just so you get a little more practice doing annotations. I would like the data type annotation on at least one of your properties. So remember that format. So if you have like email or phone, or if you have a number and you want it formatted to look like currency, or you have a password, those are the types that you can add formatting to with data type. I want you to use the display annotation for any multi-word property. And remember, display allows you to do a nice format to show in the views. I would like you to use the column annotation on at least one property. I would like you to use the string length on half of your string properties, and that limits how long a string can be. And I'd like you to use the range on at least half of your numeric properties, which also limits the numbers that can be entered. The index attribute should be added to any of the foreign keys, and you should determine what properties are required so that in the table they have not null next to them. As far as the custom error messages go, you should have at least 3. And after you add the new properties to your table, you are going to need to perform migrations because you did incorporate a column change, and you are specifying some lengths, string lengths that need to be incorporated into those tables. So you do need to do migrations. And then you need to test to make sure that the views are picking up your changes. And once you've done all that, then you can go ahead and load to the Dropbox and upload to GitHub. If you run into problems or if you have questions, please let me know.